I'm Andrew, and I'm setting out to make better videos for diesel enthusiasts. Follow along as I review products, do how-tos, and share my personal trucks here on Just Diesels. Today, we are going to be putting two of the most popular tires head-to-head in a battle. Now, these are two tires that I have run on both of my trucks. On my Ford OBS and my 2006 Ram, I have run the Toyo RT and the Nitto Ridge Grappler now. And I think that's given me enough, information to compare these tires head to head to give you guys the real information on which one you should run on your truck. Now, a little bit of backstory on these tires. If you remember, there used to be all-terrain tires and there used to be mud-terrain tires, and there was nothing in the middle, right? Either you wanted something that was quiet and nice and still had decent grip, or you went for a full-fledged MT and dealt with the insane noise and the bumpy ride and everything else for the traction. When the hybrid tires came out, they became a really popular choice because they had the aggressive look of an MT with the highway manners of an all-terrain. And that's what originally drew me to these tires. Now, I started with the Toyo RT on my 3rd gen and the Nitto Ridge Grappler on my OBS, and then ended up swapping. I went to the RT in a 35-inch size on my OBS, and then I just went to a 37-13.5 Nitto Ridge Grappler on my 3rd gen. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, Toyo and Nitto are actually the same brand. So let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons of each. Now, the Toyo RT is going to be the cheaper of the bunch typically. It's going to come in at a more affordable price point. It has a little bit less aggressive sidewall, and it has a larger lug and lug size. Now, these tires are generally actually pretty quiet. Once they wear in, they do tend to get a little bit louder in my experience once they're through that break-in period. And that was really the big reason that drove me to the Nitto Ridge Grappler, but we'll talk about that later. Overall traction, I think, on these tires is pretty solid. In sand, in dirt, they do a good job. The one area that I think that they don't quite excel as well is on wet pavement, ice, and snow. It just doesn't bite as well. I've found that in situations where I'm in snow and hard pack ice especially, these tires really like to slide around. Even aired down, I tried airing them down lower and they did a lot better aired down, but they still just didn't have the grip that I needed in ice. And I actually felt like my Nitto Grappler G2s did better than the Toyo RTs in ice and snow. Now switch over to the Nitto Ridge Grappler. The Nitto Ridge Grappler is going to be the more premium version. There's the rubber compounding is a little bit better. If you notice, the tread pattern is different. Now these tires are going to be quieter all around. Even after break-in period, they are going to be slightly quieter than the RT. Now, they're still going to be louder than like an all-terrain, right? The Nitto Grappler G2, the Toyo AT3 and AT2, those are definitely going to be quieter than both the RT and the Ridge Grappler. But the RT and the Ridge Grappler are still going to be a lot quieter than a true MT. Now, if you put these two head-to-head, again, the Ridge Grappler is going to be slightly quieter than the RT, especially after they wear in. Now, the Ridge Grappler also has a slightly smaller and more tread blocks. What that translates to, in my opinion, is a little bit better traction all around. Those tread blocks are able to conform a little bit better to the terrain and do a little bit better job of hooking up and biting. This is especially true in the situations where the RT doesn't excel, right? So on wet pavement where that water needs somewhere to go, the smaller tread blocks on the Ridge Grappler seem to do a better job of dispersing that water into the grooves and off of the actual tread blocks. And again, in ice and hard packed snow, the Ridge Grappler does seem to hook up better. I also think that the Ridge Grappler is just a little bit better, all around, a little bit better highway manners. I just generally seem to think that that tire is a little bit better in my personal experience. So that was really what ultimately drew me to the decision. On my 3rd gen, I do a lot of highway miles, I do a lot of road trips, and I wanted the tire that was overall the best, quietest, and best all-around performing tire, and I think the Ridge Grappler did that job. On the OBS, however, I thought that the RT had better looks, especially with that body style, and so I went with that tire on that truck because I like the look of it better, and I put a lot less miles in that truck, and so to me the look was a lot more important than the overall function in every possible terrain. So if you feel strongly one way or the other between the RT and the Ridge Grappler based on looks, these tires are very close in performance, so you can actually let looks guide your decision. The Ridge Grappler is going to have a more aggressive look because it has those larger MT style side lugs. And what's kind of cool about that is that you're not paying the penalty of the side or the lugs in the actual tread pattern, so they're not as loud, they're not as obnoxious to drive on. But with the side lugs, you get the look, the appearance, kind of that aggressive feel from the tire that feels more like a mud terrain. Now, one thing I want to touch on this video is tire pressure, and I'm probably going to do a whole separate video based on tire pressure, but I just want to say that you should never be running the door sticker or your truck recommended tire pressure into any of these aftermarket tires. There's a great thing called load inflation tables, and those are going to be listed on any tire manufacturer's website. Those give you a recommended tire pressure for a given weight for your given tire size that you should be running. And if you're not running that and you're complaining about traction or you're complaining about noise, then that's your problem. So start there. I usually tend to run around 45 front, 40 rear as a starting point. You can kind of go from there and experiment, but definitely play with your tire pressures, go up, go down. And if you're towing, obviously you want to be running the manufacturer recommended max pressure on the sidewall of the tire. Now, let me know what you guys think. I personally ended up preferring the Ridge Grappler for my truck, but I want to know what you guys think. What are your opinions on these two tires? I know a lot of you guys have run these tires. A lot of you guys are thinking about running these tires. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of what I said in this video. But I personally am gonna go with the Nitto Ridge Grappler. It's a better overall, all-around tire. It just squeaks out the win in a couple of key categories over the RT. And if I had to pick again, it would be the Ridge Grappler. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. Check back for more videos. I'll be doing a new upload every single week. Catch you in the next one.